What's going on there, YouTube? Vaping with SoCal Snipers back. We're going to do our first review on vaping products, vaping accessories, vaping mods, vaping atomizers, yada yada yada. This one here is for your beginning vapor, for the guy who just decided to put down these stinky things and switch to, well, at least better for you anyway. Vaping basically has 4 chemicals in it. Depending on what type you have, like right here I've got a 60-40 blend, which basically means it's 60% VG, which is vegetable glycerin. Vegetable glycerin is found in all kinds of things. I guarantee you've had 1 billion times in your life already. It's in everything from different cooking deals, drinks, to inhalers, all kinds of stuff. Anyhow, the other ingredient is propylene glycol, which propylene glycol is found in all kinds of things. Again, if you're allergic to it, you already know about it because it's already in your life in so many different facets of it. The other thing that's in these can opt to have in it or not have in it is nicotine. Nicotine is not the greatest thing in the world for you, but it's actually not the worst thing in the world for you. It's all the other 4,000 some odd chemicals that are in cigarettes, like turpentine, embalming fluid in these. There's arsenic, all kinds of chemicals in these that cause cancer, and everybody knows it. Fiberglass. This stuff doesn't have any of that. Okay? It has nicotine. Pure nicotine. It's made in a lab. And it's not really that bad for you. I mean, it might make your blood pressure go up a little bit. I've been monitoring my blood pressure since I started this. My blood pressure is better than it has been in 15 years. Okay? My blood pressure is near perfect. And I have a night shift job. And I don't eat all the right things and all that other kind of stuff. So, you know, there's that. I don't wake up coughing. I don't wake up dying. You know, my food tastes better. My sense of smell's way better. I mean, it's still kind of on the fritz. I don't quite know what this smell or that smell is right off the get-go like I used to because it's still trying to get used to it. But in this episode, we're going to talk about basically my experience starting off. So, basically, I went to my local vape shop and I bought this little Kangertech. This is called the K-Box Mini. Uses one 18650 battery. It's got a little magnetic door on the back. Just go ahead and stick your battery in. Poop. Comes with, this is just a starter kit, so it basically comes with the mod, the tank. You have to buy the battery separately because of regulations. A little drip tip here. It comes with 3 different coils, which is the piece inside. Right now I've got the stainless steel coil in it, 0.25 ohm. This is a regulated device. I've got it set at 45 watts. And you know, it's not a bad vape. I used this thing for about a week. My biggest gripe on this was the battery life sucks. And when you first start off switching from cigarettes to e-juice, you're going to chain vape like crazy. Basically, the way I understand it is one of these cigarettes has like 15 milligrams of nicotine in it. This e-juice has 3 milligrams per milliliter. Okay? This thing holds like 3 milliliters. Okay? So that's 9 milligrams of nicotine per this entire deal. Okay? So I haven't even got the full amount of nicotine from one cigarette. If I smoke one cigarette, if I smoke this entire, or vape this entire tank, I won't have as much nicotine in my system as one cigarette of that. And this will last me hours, you know. You know, and it works good. All that. Like I said, I vaped on this for a week. Got me hooked. And be forewarned, this may start a new hobby for you. Once you start off and switch from smoking, where it's basically, you know, you found the brand you like, you know, you buy a big lighter, that's the end of it. You know, you got different kinds of ashtrays and shit, but, you know, for the most part, that's it. Then it's just a matter of what kind of cologne you're going to use to cover up your smell and what kind of air fresheners you're going to use to cover up the smell. Well, this stuff becomes an air freshener. Your house and everything starts to smell like this shit real quick. And everybody goes, wow, man, what kind of air freshener you got in here? Ah, V-Juice. But anyhow, so that's great. So I used this one for, actually what happened was I used this for a few days. I liked it. I wanted the ability to switch to different juices. I bought this, which is the Cleto Aspire. These are great. They don't leak. They hold a lot more fluid, especially if you go and put the 5 mil opacity tank on. These have a lot better airflow. They don't leak at all. You know, and you can put it in your pocket. It does great. It actually comes with like these little vape bands, like I got on this guy right here. That way you don't have to worry about like it falling over and stuff and breaking. I have actually broke one of the big ones, but that's because I had it in my hand, butterfingered it, dropped it on the concrete, smashed, yeah, it broke. Switch to these. These are a 0.2 ohm coil, so they require more wattage to run them. I'll crank this sucker up to 60 watts, is what I usually run these at, 60 or better. You know, there's 60 watts. I don't know if you can read that. Probably not, but anyhow, it's 60 watts. Take my word for it. And they chuck clouds. You'd be amazed how many conversations you get started over, you know, what are you vaping? Where'd you get your mod at? Blah, blah, blah. These things work pretty good, but the battery life on them sucks. You're going to have to switch batteries out 2 or 3 times a day, charge them, blah, blah, blah. All that. So anyhow, I got tired of this guy real quick, because I decided that vaping was the future for me. That I was done smoking cigarettes. Actually, after vaping for a few days, I picked up a cigarette, tried it out, hated it, tasted like crap. But I was drinking beer, so I said, hell with it. I went up smoking a half pack of cigarettes. The next morning, I woke up feeling like I was going to die. Ever since, I've been like, hell with that. Not smoking ever again. Vaping all the way. That's all I'm going to do. So anyhow, I went out and I bought this at a brick and mortar store, okay? So this, the battery, a couple things, e-juice and stuff, it was like 75 bucks. And that was enough to like get me started. But honestly, if I could do it all again, knowing what I know now, and I'd go and buy this bad boy right here. This is the K-Box 160. K-Box 160 uses 2 batteries. It's not necessarily hotter, but you have more battery life, basically. You know, I can vape on this almost all day, depending on, you know, if I'm at work or whatever, how much I'm vaping, how hot I'm vaping it at. You know, like, I got this one set at 65 watts with this RTA, you know. It vapes like mad. It's basically the exact same tank as this Cleto, but this has an RTA, which is a buildable tank atomizer. That's what RTA stands for. This just basically got a disposable coil in it. You know, they last, I don't know how long these things last. This is still one of the original coils I bought, you know, 3-4 weeks ago. I mean, I'm switching out between different atomizers and stuff like that. I'm not using one constantly, so I can't tell you exactly how long they last. The guy at the vape shop said, you know, 2-3 weeks. You know, how hot and how much you vape and what you vape and blah, blah, blah. There's all different facets of that. But anyhow, if I go back and do it again, I'd buy this mod. This mod cost me like 33 bucks plus shipping. The batteries are like $8-9 a piece. You know, and they're rechargeable. Let's see. I bought, this is a 4 battery charger. I actually bought another 2 battery charger. I have it at work with 2 more batteries on it. That way, because this is my go to work mod. This is my day-to-day, sits in my pocket real well mod. And maybe it's, well, but it's almost the exact same size as a pack of cigarettes. See that? You know, so it doesn't take up hardly any more room. I said normally this mod, this is the setup I have on it. I have this mod with this Spire Cleto tank with a 2 ohm atomizer coil on it. They're like dual spiral line Claptons or whatever. They actually make them in stainless steel, so you can do temperature control. I haven't used temperature control. I'm just using straight wattage mode. And I'm going to go into the differences on those as well. For those of you that are going to go out and start vaping and you're like really serious about it, this is what I recommend you go and buy. Go and buy you a Kanger K-Box 160. This is a stainless model. I really like the stainless. It looks good and all that stuff. Get you a Cleto Aspire tank. These tanks are like 20 bucks. Okay, so there you go, 50 bucks. 2 batteries, you know, minimum. I mean, you can actually charge with a USB plug in here. You can actually charge this in the device. A lot of guys say not to do that. You know, you can leave them in your car plugged in. They can burn your car down, blah, 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 blah. But that's not going to happen, dude. I mean, honestly, don't be a moron. Don't take in, you know, be 110 degrees outside and have your batteries plugged into your cigarette lighter charger charging because they get hot. And then you have a 100-something degree car, which is going to heat up to 140 degrees or something like that, like an oven inside, and catch on fire and burn shit down. I mean, hello, don't be a moron. Buy that, okay? Get you some, oh, I was a heavy smoker. I smoked a pack to a pack and a half, 2 packs a day, depending on what kind of day it was, or if I was fishing or drinking beer, okay? Now, first time I tried this years ago, I got like a 12 milligram or 18 milligram e-juice, and it was way too powerful. It burned my throat. I just couldn't get into it. It went through coils like crazy, you know, and I just couldn't stick with it. Now, okay, I went out and my sister got me into this, and she said, get a 3 milligram nicotine level and just vape the crap out of it, and you'll get over those cigarettes real quick. Okay, 3 milligrams is great. You can vape it. It's not harsh. It's got just enough in it so you're not itching, you're not hurting, you're not wanting to kill everybody at work. You know, it's perfect. So anyhow, I vaped on this thing for a while. And, you know, that's great. I mean, I could vape forever on just that. Okay, now, of course, like with me, with anything else, bigger is always better, and, you know, more power and all that stuff. So then I stepped up and bought this Wismic Relo 200S 3 battery. Actually holds 3 batteries in the back. I'm actually using those in my others right now because I don't have enough batteries to go around for all this stuff. And then I've got, you know, big old massive fog and cloud chasing atomizers on this. This is a Aspire Cleto 120, which is a 120 watt coil, which really chucks the clouds. I've got that one. I've got the Smock TFV8 Cloud Beast, which I don't really like, but I'm going to get into that more on another review. But anyhow, like I said, buy the Kangertech 160, get 2 batteries, or 4 would be better. If you get a 2 battery charger, that's even better, because then you got a backup set of batteries. You know, you swap them out, they're charging while you're vaping on this other guy, you run out of vape battery, you know, you switch them out, no irritation, no headaches, all that, no opportunities to go back and be like, hey bud, can I have a cigarette? You know, I can't, my freaking yeah, you don't have any of that problem. And it works great. I mean, this thing will go up to 160 watts. I mean, I never use it like that, hardly ever. The highest they ever go is like 100. If I put the 120 on it, I'll vape it like 100 watts. Give you a little demonstration of that. This is basically the exact same coil design and all that stuff. Sucker doesn't leak, none of that. Has great airflow. It's just basically the Cleto on steroids. We'll crank this baby up to 100 watts. Reset it. Basically, you just got to hold the fire button down while you're doing it, and then hit it again, and it automatically adjusted 1.4 ohm coil, or 0.14 ohm coil. This thing chucks clouds, man. And the flavor is amazing on these big coils. But you're going to cough a little bit, and I've been doing this for a month. I'm still coughing a little bit with these big, massive suckers. You know, so I'm saying don't bother with that. Don't get all carried away. Don't go out and buy great, big, massive coils and all that stuff. You don't need it. Get you a freaking Cleto Aspire coil. They have these in 4 ohm, 2 ohm coils inside. To fill them up, all you do is close off your airflow slots in the bottom by twisting it. Unscrew the lid. These are called gorilla bottles, or unicorn bottles, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, they got a real small opening on the top there. Makes them real easy to fill these things up. Fill it up, leave you just a little bit of space up top so you don't wind up flooding the thing. Screw it back on. And you're back to vaping. Now these things have a Delrin drip tip, which Delrin doesn't conduct heat hardly at all, so that's nice. I actually really prefer, you could pull it off, switch to other drip tips. I actually went and bought one of these like $30 drip tips, which was really a waste of money honestly, but it's nice. It has a Delrin on the inside and acrylic fanciness on the outside. You can see that. Makes it a little more pleasant. To me anyway. This thing's got some kind of funky e-juice. I had to borrow some. Called a Wild Thing. It tastes like cough medicine, but I forgot. I left this sitting on the counter at home. Didn't have any. Ran out. Had to ask the buddy for some. She was like, "Oh, here you go." And it's like, "Oh, good. Thank you." But anyhow. But this is the way of the future. I mean, and some of the same stuff still applies, okay? Now, when I started this, I was like, oh, you can take and vape anywhere you want, you know, it doesn't hurt anybody, you know, there's no secondhand, Do a little more research, and not all that is true, okay? There's another half of it. You sit here and fill this room up with clouds of vapor, which isn't hard to do, and there's other people in here. They're going to start getting little trace amounts of nicotine from you. I mean, it's very minuscule. I mean, it's small amount of parts per million, but still, you wouldn't want to do it like in a closed up environment with children around. You know, you don't want to, if you're out in public, you don't want to do it in restaurants, you know. I mean, it's your decision to take and vape. You don't want to take and, you know, force this upon somebody else. I mean, use all the same rules you use with smoking. Go out to the designated smoking areas. You know, don't blow it in people's faces. You know, all the same kind of stuff. You know, that you know from smoking cigarettes. Do the same with this, okay? I can't tell you if you smoke in your car. You know, crack a window. What you're going to do anyway, because after you do a few puffs in your car, next thing you know, it's hard to see out of the sucker because it's full of fog. But, you know, you don't even have to do that. You can just turn your car's AC on, you know, and turn it off, recirculate to outside air, and it'll keep it cleared out in the car. No problems whatsoever. And like I say, as far as getting started, this is what I would buy. Kanger 160, get a Cleto Aspire atomizer, get some e-juice, get like 4 batteries and a battery charger, and you're going to have everything you need, and you can vape on that freaking forever. You know, you're never going to have to do anything besides just swap coils out, and changing the coils out is real easy. When I do the videos, I'm actually going to do those next on some of these different atomizers. You know, we're going to get off this FaceTime crap and get down and just show you just the addies and, you know, about them, what they do, pros and cons, all that kind of stuff. I hope you guys give this a shot. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. I mean, as far as saving money goes, you're not really going to save any money, to be honest with you. Go buy this setup right here. You know, it's going to cost you about 60 bucks, maybe 70 bucks. Buy you a bottle of e-liquid, get like a 30 ml bottle of 3 milligram e-liquid. I suggest getting like some Buckshot Hard Candy 3 milligram. T&T by Time Bomb, that's another good one. They both taste really good for starting out vapors. 3 milligrams. Make sure you don't get the ice smoke menthols. I've tried the ice menthol e-liquids. They taste like shit. No. But anyhow, go out and buy that, vape it for a while. Before you know it, you're going to be like, nah, I don't want to smoke. Because if you, like, give this a legitimate shot and, like, just tell yourself, hey, I'm going to smoke this until I just can't stand anymore, and then I'm going to pick up a cigarette, okay? When you pick up that cigarette and smoke that cigarette for the first time in a day or two, you're going to hate it. For one, the airflow off a cigarette is so restrictive. I mean, these things, you can literally breathe through them. You can literally breathe through these things. There's so much airflow. You can't do that with a cigarette. I mean, I can puff and puff and puff and puff on this sucker, and it doesn't do anything to me. I mean, if you hit it long enough and you get enough nicotine in you, you'll eventually give yourself a headache. But the headache literally is really mild, and it's gone in seconds, you know, as long as you drink a lot of water with these. That's about it. And you're going to hit these a little different than you hit a cigarette. Okay? A cigarette doesn't hit the same. And when you first start off with, just take light hits off this thing. Okay? So a little light hit. Breathe in. Breathe out. You know, you don't have to make clouds every time. You know. But straight up mouth to lung hits, just like you would a cigarette. Just get used to it. Before you know it, you're going to be like, hey, I want to chuck some cloud. Yeah, and that's what basically what I call a starter kit. This is right here for me is a starter kit. This is actually something you could actually vape on a day-to-day basis. You know, these things will work. One of the ladies at work that I was talking to before I bought this stuff, she has basically just an older version of this. I said, this worked. It got me through like a week, but I hated, you know, every time I get done off a break, I'd go back to my toolbox, plug this thing in and charge it because it was like I had one battery and it just didn't keep up. And yeah, it sucked. I wound up smoking cigarettes, you know, because it just didn't keep up with me. And the coils that are in these Addies that it comes with suck. They only last for like 4 days. That's why I've got the stainless steel one in here, because it's the only one I got left out of that. But anyhow, these atomizers last way longer. They work great. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you like this playlist. Hope you follow this playlist. Subscribe. I got way more of this stuff to come. I'm going to be popping out these atomizer videos as fast as I can. And these different reviews, getting this stuff up on YouTube for you guys, because this is my newest hobby, basically, is vaping. And, you know, I'm going to have everything. I'm going to basically review what I bought is what I'm going to do. I'm going to review the stuff that I've used, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. If anybody's got any stuff they want to send to me, have me review, I'll review it. You know, and if anybody's got any questions, comment below. And just like in my 4-wheel drive videos and stuff like that, I'm going to go and take and answer all your questions as best of my ability, even if I think they're kind of ridiculous. But anyhow, SoCal Sniper, signing off. See you next time. Thanks for watching.